I think the reference Call of Duty OG gets thrown around way too easy. What is a Call of Duty OG? Is it from the Golden Age? What's the Golden Age? Where is the cutoff line? If you started playing in Modern Warfare 2019, you can't call yourself an OG, right? Can you call yourself an OG if you started playing during Advanced Warfare? I want to know what you guys think. You hear a lot from old heads like me about what Call of Duty used to be. And there was a ton of things about COD back in the days that was different, but exactly what was different? What is it that the old heads are talking about? Well, today I'm going to tell you guys 20 things that only Call of Duty OGs remember. So you let me know in the comments how many of these you actually experienced. Don't lie, firsthand. Drop a like on the video, and let's see if we can get somebody from Activision to actually see all these now missing features and bring some of them back. At number 20. Unfiltered chat. Call of Duty still has plenty of communication between players, but it's nothing like it used to be back in the day. Not only was there forced game chat in a lot of the playlists, there was also zero monitoring of the words you used or the way you talk to people. Yes, that made things toxic, but it also made things a lot more competitive and a lot more social. Now, forced game chat isn't a thing. There's frequent complaints of people getting banned for saying a swear word, even though the in-game operators are swearing left and right. And even though the game is literally rated M for mature, they get banned for a cuss word. I'm not sure when Call of Duty actually became so kid-friendly. Before we move on, guys, do me a favor, go check out the Chaos Let's Play channel. We are doing Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered right now. Actually about to do the No Rushing campaign. Link is at the top of the description. I would love to see you guys over there. We just completed the full God of War 2018 campaign. We completed the Call of Duty World War II campaign, and right now we're doing Gears of War 1 and Modern Warfare 2. So there's a ton of nostalgia over there. I would love to see you guys over there. It's also the pinned comment. At number 19, fresh start. We need a fresh start. Well, fresh start was a little bonus piece of the prestige system back in a lot of the classic Call of Duty games, where once you hit max rank, you could literally get a fresh start. You could do the whole thing over again. You could grind the entire progression system from level 1 as if you just bought the game. It was actually a fun way to keep the grind going in multiplayer that we never got bored of, but I think the last Call of Duty game to actually have that, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was Black Ops 4. And it wasn't exactly a universal feature before it was deleted. Now, I don't know why it was deleted, because it seems like the newer Call of Duty games are all about getting you to grind for as long as possible. So why would you delete a feature that literally resets the game, makes the grind infinite? At number 18, the support strike package. We talk about it a lot, and we really do. But I do want to know why it went away. I know it was annoying at times, but why was it deleted instead of being improved upon? The support strike package was introduced in the original Modern Warfare 3, a totally separate kill streak chain where your kills didn't reset upon death, but rewards, well, they were more expensive and non-lethal for the most part. Now, there were exceptions. There were weird lethal streaks thrown in there, but for the most part, the support strike package consisted of things like SAM turrets, ballistic vests, recon drones, other things that would help your team without actually dealing a lot of damage. Now, it came back in Ghost, but it never returned after that. It disappeared, which is weird to me. It was a cool way of making things more interesting and rewarding the bad players without giving them an advantage on the battlefield for the most part. Okay? So why was it deleted instead of being improved upon? I don't know. My guess is that the support strike package added a lot of additional dev time, since the team would have to program a whole second lineup of streaks in order to implement it. In the modern COD era, where development is slow and full of bugs already, the support package was likely scrapped in order to prevent any kind of delay in development, which I think it's a shame, because it was a good idea. It wasn't flawless, but it didn't need to be deleted outright. At number 17, skins that make sense. No Ninja Turtles, no Beavis and Butthead, no Seth Rogen, no American Dad. I mean, I really shouldn't have to elaborate on why this has become such an issue, but back in my day, the only skin your character would wear was the stuff that was in the game on day one. All of it was designed to fit the setting of the game that you were playing. This started to change probably around Advanced Warfare, but up to that point, everybody looked like a team. Nobody was randomly running around as Nicki Minaj. And you know what? I think things were better. At number 16, COD Elite. It was interesting. It was really interesting. On one hand, super innovative, great piece of community engagement. On the other side, it was just too late to the party. COD Elite launched in late 2011 alongside the original Modern Warfare 3. Basically, a whole bunch of community-driven goodies that were tied into the season pass of the game. So if you subscribe to COD Elite, You would get all the DLC maps for Modern Warfare 3. You'd also get looped into a bunch of IRL prizes and stuff like that. Came back for Black Ops 2 season, but it was reworked to be free and disconnected from the season pass. But it also expanded upon the feature deeper clan management, stat tracking, all that stuff. Unfortunately, COD Elite was released too close to the explosion of smartphones and apps, and after the Black Ops 2 season, the program was shut down so Activision could focus on their mobile division. But if you were around during this, it was pretty awesome. The community engagement was off the charts, and the COD Elite trailers are some of the best we've ever gotten. At number 15, functional theater mode. Now, theater mode used to be a much bigger part of the Call of Duty community. People were using theater mode to make thumbnails, montages, funny skits, and now I know it's technically in Call of Duty, but I think we can all agree it's absolutely not a priority for Activision anymore. Half the time, you're lucky if theater mode even works on launch day, and it's been a coin toss recently on whether or not theater mode is in a game at launch day at all. Back in the classic days of Black Ops 1, 2, and 3, theater mode was not only a super smooth and functional experience, it was also a very heavily used feature because the community was way more passionate about the game back then, I think. At number 14, custom emblems. Now, there is no way this ever comes back because a lot of people used it for trolling, but there were some wizards back in the day that would make some of the coolest emblems you've ever seen. There was an entire culture of emblem tutorials on YouTube, and certain channels were seen as the best in the community for learning how to make awesome customization. They made art. Now, if anyone can make their own emblem, then Activision can't sell you emblems in the shop. So custom emblems had to be deleted. Yeah, it's a shame because there were some really cool things you could do with the custom emblems, like at number 13, emblems on your guns. Remember when you could grind your gun for the ability to put your emblem on it? I thought that was one of the coolest parts of the older Black Ops games, being able to go into the emblem creator, make something cool, or go on YouTube and get a tutorial because you weren't talented enough, and then you grind your gun level up to the point where you could slap on the custom emblem on the side of your gun for everybody to see. It was a badge of honor. Wasn't an easy feat either because in order to actually unlock the option, you had to... At number 12, weapon prestige. Why in the world is weapon prestige gone? Another super grind-heavy feature that seems to fit right in with the current grind-heavy design philosophy of Call of Duty, but for some reason, it's gone. And yes, I know weapon prestige was brought back in Black Ops 7, but also Black Ops 7 isn't a real game, so I'm going to put it on the list today. Weapon prestige was a feature introduced in Black Ops 2. You would max out your weapon's rank, it would give you option to prestige it, just like you could with your character. Then, your weapon's progression would start over from level 1, but in the process, you would unlock some new customization options, put your emblem on your gun, etch your clan tag on the back of it, and other stuff. Now, I have no clue why in the modern COD era, weapon prestige is absent, because I know a lot of COD players would grind a ton of extra hours if they could put their clan tag or kill count on the side of their gun. At number 11, free COD points. Now, when I say free COD points, what I mean is the fact that COD points used to be something entirely different than they are now. Today, COD points are digital paid currency that all of the Call of Duty games use to buy in-game stuff. Back in the original Black Ops, COD points were in-game currency you earned via gameplay, and then you use that to unlock camos, cosmetics, weapons. The progression system of Black Ops 1 was way less linear than most Call of Duty games because of the COD point system. Yeah, but a lot of people loved it for a very good reason. Ghost did something similar, I think, with squad points, but starting with Black Ops 3, maybe it was Advanced Warfare, COD points were basically just the stand-in for actual money. But when the currency was totally free and earned in-game, you could do some really cool things, such as, do you guys like these segues? At number 10, wager matches. Black Ops 1 is still the only game in the franchise to actually do this, but back when COD points were part of free progression, that meant there wasn't anything sketchy about putting them on the line in a party game, which is exactly what the wager match playlist was. You joined a 6-person lobby to make some kind of free-for-all party game, sharpshooter, one in the chamber, sticks and stones, gun a game, whatever. Then you could wager your COD points in the lobby before the match started. Top 3 players, they profited from the match, while the bottom 3 would lose everything. And if you were good at wager matches and constantly doubling down your bets, you could make an absolute killing off other players. It allowed you to progress through the multiplayer and unlock stuff a lot quicker. But then again, if you got too cocky, you would end up setting yourself back. You'd be stuck not being able to afford any new unlocks until you grinded up some points in core multiplayer. It was awesome. Yes, it was an addictive way to shake up the COD progression system, but since the COD point system never really came back, and also since gambling in video games became taboo, the wager match playlist never returned after Black Ops. And who remembers being good enough to go into High Roller? At number 9, Pick 10. Did you know there are leaks suggesting that the Pick 10 system was supposed to be in Modern Warfare 3 2023, but Infinity Ward came in and allegedly stopped Sledgehammer from doing it. Now, I don't understand what the grudge is against pick 10 system these days. I take that back. I do know the grudge. The grudge is a simple fact that the gunsmith cannot exist alongside the pick 10 system, and Infinity Ward was somehow convinced that all the Activision executives that the gunsmith is a better system, so nobody can use the pick 10 system anymore because the gunsmith was worked into Warzone, and now everything has to be worked into Warzone, so nobody's allowed to have fun anymore. That's just, I'm sorry. None of that's confirmed. That's just what was on my mind. I missed the pick 10. And since we're talking about it, at number 8. Simple gun customization. Who remembers when there was only one red dot sight? Who remembers when there was only one long barrel, one suppressor, one quick draw grip? The gunsmith, it was definitely an interesting experience, but it's gone too far. There's so many attachments that don't actually do anything substantial. And there's so many attachments that are literally just copy-paste of different attachments, but with different names, and it's all being done to extend the weapon level grind. But what's the point? There was nothing wrong with keeping things simple in an arcade shooter. The simple gun customization was so much better than the clutter nonsense of modern COD, and I think deep down, most people will agree with me. You can't tell me you genuinely prefer the customization of something like Modern Warfare 2 2022 over the customization of something like Black Ops 2. The simple attachment system meant the attachments had a much clearer impact on the weapon, and they felt way more rewarding to unlock because of that. Plus, there was no random broken gunsmith builds getting discovered and passed around on TikTok. At number 7, deaths on the scoreboard. Why did we stop using the word death? Why did we start using eliminations? And why did we stop showing the KD in games? I mean, are the developers worried we're going to get our feelings hurt if our KD is on display? I mean, even though our KD was on display in literally every Call of Duty game for a decade and a half, now look, if you can't handle people seeing you did poorly in a video game, you probably shouldn't be playing the video game. That's a you problem. That is. And yet Activision, I mean, they cater to you for some reason. Or little Timmy. I don't know. At number 6, no doors. No doors anywhere. It was wonderful. We all thought doors were going to be some kind of awesome game-changing feature. We were wrong. Doors completely screwed up the pacing of the game because you never knew exactly what you were walking into, while also you gave the campers the ability to literally close themselves off from fighting and make camping even easier since they could conceal themselves in a room with claymores and bouncing betties. Doors were implemented extremely poorly, and they've been slowly phased out over the last few years, luckily, but I think the real moment of truth will come with Modern Warfare 4. If Modern Warfare 4 launches with any door you can open, well, yeah. Now we arrive at the top 5. Factions. Who remembers the Rangers? Who remembers when playing as the Black Ops actually mattered? Who remembers OP4, SAS? Remember all the different announcers and music tracks for these? It was an awesome personality to the multiplayer of Call of Duty. It got you hyped up to play with your teammates for whatever mode you were in. Now, everybody just playing in their own random operator skins or on factions that don't actually change anything about the announcer or the music. And if they do make changes, nobody notices because they're too busy talking about their totally awesome operator skin that they spent $20 of their parents' paycheck on. At number 4, spawns that made sense. Now, spawns weren't always amazing. I know that, but they at least made sense. Some sense. There weren't as many instances of the game spawning you in the line of fire, spawning you in enemy territory, or the game just straight up refusing to spawn anyone in certain sections of the map regardless of how safe they may be. Now, Spawn Engines prioritizes putting you near friendly players and just giving you revenge kills, and it's completely destroyed the pacing of a lot of maps because holding objectives doesn't actually mean anything anymore when it comes to clearing the way for your teammates to spawn you in. You know what? Let's talk about that too. At number 3. Playing the objective. I'm not saying everybody always plays the objective. The phrase PTFO used to be a common thing, but that's my point. If you didn't play the objective in an objective-based mode, you got roasted for it. There was always people just going in for kills in objective-based modes, but there was always people that frowned upon it. It's always seen as a lame thing to do, but now, I mean, I don't get that impression at all. People are constantly queuing into objective modes and not even attempting to play the objective, and nobody says a thing. I mean, I can't be the only one who feels like it's more common today for this to happen. If you're not going to play the objective, stop queuing for objective modes. Just go play TDM. At number 2, the classic hit marker sound. Here, I want you guys to listen to this. Just listen. Now, also listen to this.
Enemy down.
Spy plane standing by.
Infinity Ward and Treyarch had their own hit marker sounds in their games, and they were iconic. Now the hit markers sound weird, and it seems like they're constantly changing. I know there's some modern COD games where you can enable the old hit marker sound, but I'm always remembering the sound of the classic Modern Warfare 2 and the Black Ops 1 hit marker sounds. They fit the tone of the game perfectly. So many great moments. And at number 1, actual art style. Every Call of Duty game looks the same. Now, They do. They're all just going for hyper-realism. They completely given up on making their own games look unique from one another. I mean, look at classic Modern Warfare 2 then Black Ops 1. Look at Ghost then Black Ops 2. These games looked very distinct from one another because the choices in lighting, character models, architecture, it was great. It made every game look unique. It made every game feel like a unique experience. And that is something that's been completely dropped ever since we moved to the modern engine. Every game looks interchangeable now. And I think it's a shame. There you have it. If you're a true COD OG, you probably enjoyed this video. If you think you're a COD OG, but you came in way later, you may not. You may be upset with me. I don't know. I hope to see you guys over on Chaos Let's Play, and I'll see you soon.